Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Mona's Take. I am your host, Mona Rose, and we're here to talk about everything reality TV. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and comment, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything I have coming up. Today's video is on the recap of the live feeds from yesterday, Big Brother. We had a lot going on. Again, the House has decided that they're going to try to flip the vote again and get Kyle out instead of Daniel. So there's a lot of conversations going on in that realm. Daniel and Terrence are very bitter right now. They have a lot of conversations going on. So, stay tuned. People are acting on a whole nother level on that. Can't wait to see that karma train coming through. Choo-choo. Mood of the day. Really? You gotta give some credit to that. Some people, buckle up, buttercup. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Alright, short recap. Michael is HOH. He put up the boys, Terrence, Joesph, and Monty. He won the power of veto. He took down the boys, and he put up Daniel and Kyle. So right now, Daniel and Kyle are on the block, and the plan is to get Daniel out this week. Turner is so over Jasmine. He was outside napping on the couch while a bunch of people were talking, and he was out there for a while. And as soon as Jasmine comes out there and sits down and starts talking, he wakes up, gets up, and leaves the area. Anytime Jasmine comes into a room, he leaves the room. He's over her. Daniel and Terrence are talking, and Daniel looks towards the pool area, and he said, I guess the bathing suit rule doesn't apply. Now, the only ones that I know of that were out there at the time was Indy and Alyssa. So I don't know who he was talking about, but I know that Indy's been doing a lot of complaining that she had like 30 swimsuits packed, and they took all of the bottoms and only left her with a few tops. So I guess before you go into the house, they go through the clothes that you're going to be wearing, and they take out anything that they don't want on the show, whether it be maybe Nike shirts, Adidas shirts, anything that's sponsoring something. They take all that out. So the house gets to been complaining a lot about the lack of clothes that they have. Turner says that he had like 20 sweatshirts in there, and they left him with one that says Kentucky. That's the only one they left him with. Terrence and Daniel are talking about how deflated they are, that Monty came off the block. They're mad that Michael didn't take the shot that he had. And Terrence said, you might as well write him a check. I don't know if he was talking about Monty or if he was talking about Michael. They talk about Michael's speech being unnecessary. Evidently, at the veto ceremony, Michael used the same speech that Daniel used on Taylor. So he used that same speech on Daniel. And Monty, in his speech, or his plea, said, oh, wow, you know, Terrence just joined our group, and I want to keep my boys safe, and we're building a bond. And I really don't want to see us up on the block come Thursday night. I don't want him to have that experience. And later on, Terrence is complaining, saying that speech was bull. He didn't have to do that. That was cap, which I had to look that up to even know what it meant. And evidently, if you say something's capped, it's like a lie or exaggerated. Terrence tells Daniel, he said, promise me one thing. And he said, and I mean this with every living being in my soul, everything that I love. And Daniel said, what? And he said, come Thursday night, when you put your black bag out there, you make it known to everybody in the house that nobody is to touch your bag. And Daniel said, why did somebody say that? And Terrence said, no. But I'm so sick of seeing Taylor jump up and run to the door and grab the bag like she's doing someone a freaking favor. I'm over it. I don't want her touching your bag. And Daniel said, well, I'll make it a point. I don't want anybody touching my bag but you. And Terrence said, no, you don't even have to do that. I'll take care of it. I'll say something. They're both just so pissy right now because they didn't get Michael to do what they wanted him to do. Daniel says that he's going to remind everyone that Michael has 5 competitions under his belt and that he's a comp beast and that they need to get him out. And if the next HOH doesn't figure it out, then Michael's going to win the whole game. They start talking about what they think the pecking order is. And Terrence says that he's going to be next, and then Jasmine, and then Taylor. I don't see that scenario. I see maybe him and Jasmine, but Taylor ain't going nowhere. They start talking about jury management, and Terrence is like, well, I'm voting for the person that I respect their game the most. I'm not voting for who had the most wins or who had the best personality. I'm voting on how I respect their game. And Terrence goes on to say, when I win HOH, better not one of them son of a bitches come up to my room. I'm going to have my door locked. I want to read my letter alone. They can give me the same energy they've been giving me this whole time in the house. They don't need to come talk to me now. And I'm going to tell them I know what I'm doing and I don't need to talk to anybody. And he said, you're not using my bathroom. You're not using my bathtub, my shower. You're not eating my snacks. You're not coming in my damn room. So they're both very pissy right now. Terrence and Daniel say that Turner's going to be dragged along to the end because he walks around acting like he doesn't know anything's going on, that they're not playing a game, that he's just there on vacation. So they're just going to drag him right along. He's going to float along to the end. Joesph tells Kyle that Jasmine wants to send him home. Jasmine's trying to flip the house. She's trying to get enough votes to where they can send Kyle home and keep Daniel. And Joesph said she's going through the numbers with me. You know, she thinks she has me. So she's going through the numbers. She's counting this one, that, whatever. And they think they have the votes to stay. And Kyle's like, how? They've thought they had the votes the last 2 weeks. How can they not see that they don't have the votes by now? Monty says that Indy's telling everyone that Kyle should join Brittany and Michael. So that if they go up on the block, they're going to vote Brittany out before they'll vote him out. Joesph tells Kyle to join the girls because that way if there's a double elimination, there's 4 of them in that group. 2 being leftovers and 2 non-leftover members so that they would be able to get Indy and Alyssa out and him and Taylor would be safe. Michael, Brittany, and Taylor are talking, and they're talking about Jasmine and how annoying she is. She leaves stuff out everywhere. They have a big ant problem, and they found a cup of sugar that I guess that she was using for her pickles. And several other things that she just eats and leaves wherever it may be. And they're tired of it. And Taylor said she cannot leave soon enough for me. She said, I will be so glad when she walks out the door. Jasmine, Daniel, Terrence, and Joesph are all in the living room, right there in front of everybody. And Jasmine starts talking game, and they're putting 2 and 2 together for alliances. But they don't think that Joesph is a part of this alliance, so they're telling him all their plans, and they're trying to bring him over to their side. They see him as a floater. They see Kyle as a floater. So they're trying to be good with Joesph, and they're spilling. Jasmine and Terrence are spilling all the beans to Joesph. Terrence says that there is an alliance. Terrence and Jasmine both said that there is an alliance. It consists of Monty, Taylor, Michael, Brittany, and Turner. Terrence said Taylor told him that after Daniel leaves, that she wants Kyle out. Joesph is just eating up all this information. He don't even have to say anything. He's just laying there listening. Terrence says Kyle is joining Michael and Brittany so they can keep each other safe. Jasmine said to Joesph, I hope you're not in the alliance since we're sitting here talking about everything, and you better not be lying to me. And Joesph said, I'm not lying to you, Jasmine. And she said, you better not be. Terrence said, I'm going to tell y'all one honest thing right now. He said, I gave him the shot to take, and he missed. And Jasmine said, yeah, he did miss the shot. And Joesph said, what do you mean you gave him the shot? He said, I threw the HOH competition to him. It was down to the final three, which was Michael, Terrence, and Monty. Monty was still looking for his clue, so he would have been out because it was Michael and Terrence. They were already up top at OTEV. And while Monty is still looking for his clue, Terrence turns to Michael and says, you need to win this thing. You need to win this thing. We'll talk later. And Terrence threw it to Michael. Now, if Terrence was low on the bottom pole and he said he threw it, I'd be like, no. But since he would have been second in that competition, I think there's a very good possibility that he could have won over Michael. And then we would have had a whole different week. As soon as this conversation is over, Jasmine goes and gets Alyssa and they go to the bubble room. Or she goes in the bubble room where Alyssa is. And they're talking about what needs to happen to keep Daniel, and that she doesn't think that they have the votes. She's working on it, but she doesn't think it's going to come through. I think she's going to test in the waters with Alyssa to see if Alyssa's going to agree to it. But then, as she's walking out the door, she stops and she says, oh, and I want to tell you another thing. And Alyssa said, what? She said, I threw the competition. And Alyssa said, you threw what comp? She goes, OTEV, I threw it. And Alyssa said, why would you do that? And she says, because I thought that Michael would take the shot at Monty. So I was trying to line up a shot for him to take that we didn't have to take. Word for word, what Terrence just said to them, she went and said to Alyssa and said it was her that threw the competition. I can't with this girl. I am so over her. That will be the happiest day of my life when she walks out those doors. I just hope it's before the finale. Jasmine tells Alyssa that Taylor told her that she wants Kyle out next. Like I said, she's testing the waters to see where Alyssa's going to land on that vote. Then Jasmine said that she's going to go talk to Daniel and she's going to ask Daniel to blow up everybody's game when he walks out the door. Daniel's already said he was going to blow up everybody's game when he walks out the door. He just had that conversation with Daniel, and Terrence in the living room. This girl, y'all. Alright, the leftovers get together last night, late. Everybody was, I guess this morning, everybody was in bed. They had a pretty long meeting that they haven't had in a couple days because they haven't had the opportunity. Kyle says that Alyssa said that Daniel's pitch is going to be showmances. He's going to be like, Kyle's in a showmance. And so that one vote turns into two. They're going to vote together. They're going to work together. So you have to remember that one vote is actually two votes. And that he was going to try to blow everybody's game up at the end before he walks out the door. Brittany says that the other side of the house has been trying to recruit Joesph all day, and they have, into the old school alliance. And they talk about their suspicion of the alliance being Monty and Michael and Brittany and Turner and Taylor. Brittany said that everybody on the other side thinks that the name of their alliance, which is the leftovers, they're calling it the house because they said that too many people are saying, I'm voting with the house. I'm voting with the house. So the house must be their alliance name. She says Alyssa's considering voting Kyle out. Monty says he doesn't think Alyssa would do that, but if they think they have the votes to keep Daniel over Kyle, then that must mean that Alyssa's turned. Turner talks about Jasmine being the bigger target than Alyssa. He said she's the head of the other side. She's the one that does the scheming and the planning and the backstabbing and gets everybody going. That's not Alyssa. Alyssa's not doing that. Jasmine is. So we need to take Jasmine out before we take Alyssa out. Jasmine and Terrence corner Joesph again and tell him that they need to figure this out to be able to keep Daniel. So they need to come up with a plan to make that happen. Joesph said Daniel's targets are Michael, Monty, and Taylor in that order. They're going to blame Brittany for flipping the vote. And when they said that, Brittany and Kyle both jumped up and said, I told you. Because 3 different occasions now, they blame Brittany for doing something that she didn't do to try to blow up other people's games. And so Brittany's been telling them, they're lying on me. I don't know why they're lying on me. So that was confirmation to the group that Brittany was telling the truth. Joesph tells Turner that they know he's in the alliance because he was laughing at the veto ceremony. And Turner said, well, I had to. It was funny. So that's how they know that Turner's in this alliance. Tells them that the other side wants Michael out. They're going hard to get Michael out of the game. He's a comp beast, and he's won 5 comps, and he didn't do what they wanted him to do this week. So he's the #1 target for the other side of the house, which is scary because him and Brittany don't have any insulation. If they go in the block back door, either Michael or Brittany's going to go home, and I think people are going to take the shot at Michael. Taylor said, every time I walk by Daniel in this house, it just reminds me what a loser he is. And Monty said, yeah, a sad loser at that. And Taylor says that in her goodbye message, I'm sorry. Taylor said he's going home this week, and when he gets on the outside, it's not going to be pretty for him. And Monty pretty much says, well, he made his bed, he can lie in it. You know, he made the choices, he's the one that screwed up, he's going to have to deal with it. Taylor said her goodbye message to Daniel is going to be, Daniel, my friend, or I'm sorry, Daniel, my boy, you got your wish. You don't have to talk to me until finale night. And you didn't even make it to the jury. I so hope that's the message, and I hope they play it. I really do. Because she deserves her vindication for the way that he's been treating her this whole game. There's also a part where Jasmine's talking about how she was in this pageant with this girl and that they were friends at first and everything, and then the girl kind of betrayed her. And she's like, you know, she was nothing like me. She had the prettiest hair and the prettiest body and the prettiest makeup and just over the top. And we're like, that's why she doesn't like Taylor. Because she's jealous of Taylor. Well, we all knew that anyway. I did. But I think this week what's going to happen is Thursday night, after the eviction, Julie's going to come back on and she's going to say that they made it to jury, and she's going to say that the bestie twist is over. And I think it's going to go back to an individual game. I hope so, because if they have to play next week as besties, you are only going to have 4 groups. One's going to be the HOH. One's going to be nominated. 2 are not. So if there's an HOH, the one that's nominated, this person over here wins the veto, takes this person off the block. There's only 1 group left to put on the block. And that's the concern for next week. Because I think that backdoor plan is going to end up being Michael and Brittany. So it is very imperative that one of the leftovers win the HOH this week, because if the other side gets it, I think it's going to be shook up a lot. And I'm afraid for Michael, I'm afraid for Brittany, and I'm afraid for Taylor, because those three people are going to be the ones they go after in some shape or form. So we'll see if my predictions come out right or not. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and as always, much love.